Alright, everybody, so we're back. This is the review for episode 5 of WandaVision. I got my brother here today. He's gonna help me review this episode. So I'm gonna give the synopsis for this episode right quick. In this episode, we're now in the 80s, and it's more of like a Full House-ish type feel because they have like a family now. They have the kids, and even the set is a lot like Full House. The house is, but the synopsis of this episode is that Vision is really starting to catch on. And it also flips back and forth between Wanda's world and the real world. So S.W.O.R.D. is still trying to do their thing and figure out what's going on. And Vision's really kind of figuring out what's going on. So like everything's just kind of breaking down around Wanda. So I feel like that's the synopsis of the episode. Without saying anything spoilerish. Now, this is definitely not the worst episode. I don't know if I'm gonna say it's the best one yet. It's neat though because it gives you the best of both worlds. Because it gives you the real world stuff and the sitcom stuff. That way you're not just like in a sitcom again and wondering what S.W.O.R.D. is doing, or that way we're not in like a S.W.O.R.D. episode again wondering what's going on in Wanda's world. We're getting to see both. And it's really entertaining. It's really confusing. It's very eerie. I was pretty much unsettled the whole time. Just kind of like, what the heck is going on? That's kind of my take on the episode. Do you have anything to say without spoilers?
Not necessarily, I don't think.
Then we'll start talking about spoilers. So here's a spoiler warning. 3, 2, 1. Okay. So the episode starts out with Wanda and Vision holding their twins and all this, and they're crying. And Agnes comes over because she hears them crying, and she's like, oh, I'm gonna help them. And she walks in, and she's like, I'll take care of the babies, you and Vision go do something. And Vision's like, no. With like all this, he's not like, he don't vibe with what she's doing. And she just stops. And she's like, oh wait, do I need to do that again? And then Vision's like, what? And then she goes up to Wanda and is like, you wanted me to take the kids, so you just want me to start from the top? So then you're like, what? Because this is like right off the bat too. This way, you're knowing that like Wanda is controlling them, and she's put it in their minds what she wants them to do. And now that Vision's catching on, Vision's like, no, and that's just like messing with her whole plan. The next thing that happens is like they look at the twins, and the twins are now like 4 or 5. They're like 5. Yeah, they are 5.
Yeah, they're 5.
Because they do the whole sitcom theme song intro, and it's very well made. It still looks very, very authentic. And like they have a big cake that says like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on it, because like they were like toddlers to 5 years old like that.
It took me like a good 10 seconds to even realize it.
I didn't realize it until you said it. It's nuts that they can just change age. They get a dog.
Yeah, the dog.
Yeah, the dog just shows up out of nowhere, and they name it Sparky. And then spoiler alert, the dog dies. So that's sad.
And that's also when they changed from 5 to 10.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They changed. Oh yeah, because they said they were too young to have a dog.
They both just looked at each other menacingly like.
Yeah, they're like,
They did it.
watch this. And they goes, you. So the twins can like
just change age.
Yeah, age up whenever they want. And Wanda tells them not to age up when the dog dies, because like they're all sad or whatever, so they're just gonna like age up, so they don't care that much. And she's like, do not use this as an opportunity to age up or whatever. So I kind of feel like she's not in control of the kids doing that, maybe.
Yeah, because even they were questioning her powers and everything.
Yeah, they did, because they were like, you can bring stuff back from the dead. Like they know that Vision's dead.
Yeah. And then once they asked where Vision was.
Yeah, they asked where Vision was, and they kind of go through she goes through this whole monologue about how couples aren't always on the same page, but they're still family. Very Full House-like.
On the S.W.O.R.D. side of things.
On the S.W.O.R.D. side of things, they name dropped Captain Marvel for some reason. I can't remember why.
Because they said that Wanda was the only one close to defeating Thanos all by herself.
Oh yeah, she was.
Then Jimmy Woo was like, I think Captain Marvel could have done it.
Yeah. Well, when they name drop Captain Marvel, Monica's like, we're not talking about her. And you're just like, oh, they got beef. But it's
they
funny.
Most definitely got beef.
because she doesn't seem to be the only person that's got beef against Captain Marvel. Because when Spider-Man says, "What about Captain Marvel?" and Far From Home, Nick Fury is like, "Don't invoke her name," but that was actually Talos. But Talos and Monica are supposed to be on Carol's side, so I think she's done something to make them mad. They found out that when Monica went through the hex, as we're calling it now because of Darcy, when she went through the hex, she had a bulletproof vest on, and it made the clothes that she wore in there bulletproof. So I guess that's going to come back into play.
I guess.
They didn't really touch on that. But they also found a way to communicate to Vision using an email because he's like in the technology line of work.
Yeah.
So they send him an email and he touches Herb, is that his name? No, Herb's the other guy.
Herb. Norm.
Yeah, he touches Norm like this.
Yeah.
And then he like loses his mind. Like he's back to like his normal self, like freaking out, saying that Wanda's doing all this. And then Vision just like kind of goes again, and he's whatever.
Like technology. Yeah.
So now Vision has like, he's officially caught on. Like, okay, there's something wrong going on. They also found a way to talk to Wanda again because they sent a drone from the 80s into the Hex, which is now in like the 80s era. So it didn't change anything. So she didn't notice that it was there. So they talked to her that way. And they made her mad because the guy decided to shoot at her, which didn't end well.
No.
Because then you're back outside Sword and you see like the Hex shield and you see like the silhouette coming through it.
Like,
and here comes Wanda. She comes out of the world. She's holding the drone. She like throws it at him. Basically tells him to like screw off. And like,
but in a Sokovian accent.
She did have her accent back. That's right. Yeah, she basically tells him to screw off, and pretty much tells him they come back, they gonna get it.
And she mind controlled all the guards.
Yeah, to shoot the other guy. Then she gets home, and now Vision decides that he's gonna like confront her, and things get pretty intense because they're like raising their voices at each other. And you can tell like she's not used to this, and she even tells Vision like, "You've never talked to me like this before." And she's like, "Yeah," but he's like, "Before what?" He's like, "I don't remember anything before Westview." So you're like, "Oh, oh snap!" Also, when the kids were talking about something, they were talking about family. They asked Wanda if she had a brother, and she said she did, but he's just far away, and it kind of makes her sad sometimes. Back to her and Vision fighting, they end up like levitating. There wasn't any powers shown beside that. Like they didn't go into a fight. But she's like, and he's like, let's just go watch TV so you can change everything again. And like the credits start rolling, and Vision's like, no. So then you're like, oh snap! Like Vision's actually like defining what's going on. So like the episode ends up not ending. They eventually like calm back down.
Yeah.
And then the doorbell rings.
And she's like, I didn't do that.
She's like, I didn't do that. She's like, you don't believe me though, do you? And he's like, I want to, but I can't say I do. And the doorbell rings again. At this point, your heart's like, you're like this. And like, you have to jump up. It's like, what in the world is going on? She opens the door. And of course, they have to go back into the Sword world. And you're like, what? What does she see? What does she see? And then it shows like the back of the guy's head, and he's got white hair, and you're like, oh. You're like, could this be her brother? And then it's Evan Peters as Petro, which is fine.
No, it's not.
But I like the other guy better. So like, if y'all like Evan Peters better, that's fine. Y'all can comment, y'all can talk trash about me, but I like the other guy better. And they even make a joke about it, like, oh, why'd they recast him? Because they're stupid. That's why. That's my answer. Unless they have plans to bring the other guy back somehow. But as for now, I think it sucks. It's kind of stupid.
Yeah.
And then Vision's like, Wanda, who is this? And then it ends and says, please stand by.
I hate that.
And it's like, every week, please stand by. What? I kind of don't know if Agnes is the villain. At first, I thought she was kind of a bad person,
Yeah.
but I kind of think her and Wanda are working together. Which I guess Wanda's turning out to be kind of a bad person. But I kind of like don't think that Agnes is like manipulating Wanda at all. I feel like they're kind of working together in whatever they're doing.
Because, like, also, she uses her powers around her, too, now.
Yeah, that's too. She uses her powers around Agnes all the time, and like Agnes doesn't seem phased. She pretends like she doesn't like care.
She did whenever they were talking about death.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, you can do that?
So wait, you can do that. I feel like he's gonna be doing that whole like that trick to a lot of different people and trying to figure other things out. Unless Wanda takes that away from him. So that's the review. If we left something out, comment, and I'll be sure to tell you what I think about it. Go check out the reviews for the other 4 episodes. Like, subscribe, comment. See you next time. Next week, guys.